Whether you're a Fanstoys fanboy or not, whether you love Fanstoys or you hate them, you have to admit that Fanstoys makes great looking figures in both modes. Fanstoys figures are some of the most desirable figures out there, and I personally love the products that they've been putting out lately and look forward to a lot of the ones that are coming up. But does Fanstoys use the tactic of false scarcity? We're going to get into that. We're going to define false scarcity. We're going to discuss how it affects you as the consumer and how it affects the way they do business going forward. Let's get into it. Now we're going to talk about several things in here, looking at Fanstoys and the possible use of false scarcity. But this is a tactic that we've used for a long time in the business world. Many companies do this, and I'm going to define false scarcity for you, give you an example of other industries that use it, kind of relate it to Fanstoys and see what's been going on with Fanstoys. We're going to discuss their reissues that they've done, the lack of reissues, the repaints that they've done, and then look at future products. So let's get into this. So on Wikipedia, if you define false scarcity, it's really called artificial scarcity. I use the term false scarcity, and that gets thrown around a lot in the business world. It's almost a slang term, but anyway, artificial scarcity is the scarcity of items that exist even though either technology for production or the sharing capacity exists to create theoretical limits or at least greater quantity production than currently exists. So that's saying that it's artificial scarcity is saying that we could make more, we just don't. But getting more into down a little further, in capitalist system, and enterprise is judged to be successful, efficient, and profitable. To obtain maximum profits, producers may restrict production rather than ensuring maximum utilization of resources. And this strategy of restricting production by firms in order to obtain profits in a capitalist system or mixed economy is known as creating artificial scarcity, or as I like to call it, false scarcity. We've seen this with Nintendo. Nintendo is constantly being accused of this because they sort of do it. Now, the original NES system wasn't the main culprit because they didn't know it was going to be as big of a hit as it was. They hoped it would, but they didn't know. The Wii, on the other hand, fell super short of expectations of the demand in the first holiday season, and it was a while until you got a replenishment. Once the replenishment came, it came in a massive full force and sold like crazy to become one of the greatest selling systems ever. Not just because of the little gimmick, partially because of false scarcity. Nintendo did it again with their classic NES, where it was a short run of an item. They said they were only going to make so many, and that was what they said. They sold out. People were selling this system on eBay, a $60 system for $200. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar to anybody? But then they came out and flooded the market the next summer with these things. So, creating false scarcity, Nintendo is always getting accused of that. Hey, they're still around, they're still beloved. So looking at Fanstoys and what has Fanstoys done that would kind of fall into this category, and well, the first thing is they have a strange reissue schedule. If you look at the Dinobots, which are some of the earliest figures, they reissue the Dinobots all the time. In fact, they're supposed to be reissuing more coming up. They've also put a 2.0 version of Scoria out, and then they put out some G2 recolors of Scoria. I don't know, Scoria must be their favorite. But it was their first. So, speaking of first, everybody can go get a Quake Wave. And yeah, I know since the Quake Wave came out, there have been other versions. There's the Quake Blast, there's the official, but you can get a Quake Wave for pretty cheap everywhere. It's pretty simple because they have put this figure out. They've made this figure continually available over and over and over. So I'm not going to harp on this too long, but there's this trio of figures that I keep liking to point out that they won't reissue. I personally don't know if they've ever done one reissue or second production run of any of these figures. So I don't know for sure. I can't validate that, but it seems like they will not ever. And there's a couple of schools of thought why. The main thing is everyone's saying molds are broken, molds are lost, the molds are gone. They don't want to spend the tens of thousands of dollars it takes to recreate those molds because it's one of the more expensive parts of production, and I covered that in a video. But I'm starting to think it might be something else. I'm starting to think that they feel like these have serious design flaws and there are QC issues with them. People keep telling me it's bad plastic, this breaks, that breaks, including spotter, which I had no problem with my spotter when I sold mine off because, hey, somebody wants to give me a lot of money for it, I'll just sell it off and buy 3 other sets, whatever, of something else. But Tesla, I've recently had some discussions with people who've had broken Teslas and they barely moved them. It was not like they felt they were rough with it or they did something wrong or something that it just broke. And people blame the plastic, but it could be a design flaw. So I'm starting to think maybe they know that there's design issues and they want to just either not reissue them and deal with that problem, not tarnish their reputation, or maybe they're going to do a 2.0 of them. But having items like this, products that are highly sought after, that everybody wants, definitely shows your product's in demand. And at the same time, they reissued Coot. Now, it does seem like they're on sort of a modern reissue schedule. So figures that have come out relatively modern, like in the last 3 years, get reissued. Of course, they've probably definitely secured the fact that they don't let their molds get stolen, broken, or damaged. They're doing a better job of that. Maybe that is the truth. Who knows? Maybe that they feel that they have better designs. Who knows? Coot, on the other hand, that was a figure that took a long time to sell out. Like, I had no trouble getting one. Like 6 months, 8 months after it released, I finally said, I guess I'll get it. And I got it. And I got it for a discounted rate because he was sitting and lingering on the market for a long time. And I got it cheaper. But yet this guy got a reissue. I'm not going to say it's a bad figure. It's a great figure. I wasn't really after that character. I was trying to fill other characters at the time. So let's get into how they could actually create false scarcity. I think it really started with Phoenix. Now, yes, they did make the X. We'll talk about that. But when they made their Phoenix, I don't think they put out all of the figures that they made in their first run. In fact, I think that they had an underwhelming number of pre-orders. So what I think they did, because they had a higher price point, was hold back. So what they ended up doing is an alleged reissue of this. And everything was 100% exactly the same. And this is what really got me thinking, was that I find out about this reissue, I talk about it, and 3 weeks later they start showing up. I've never seen ever a Fanstoys item or any company doing a reissue, making a figure, announce it, and 3 weeks later here it is. I mean, just think about how long it takes to just transport over. I'm shocked. No, I'm not. They're sitting in a warehouse and they said, all right, we're going to reissue it. Let's start sending them out. That's what happened with this guy, I believe. And so they created the false scarcity. The price went through the roof on this guy. And it's not the last time they did it. So now we have the X. The X was a higher price point. It was a repaint. It's starting to irritate people when they do this stuff. And we're going to get more to that here in a little bit. I don't have the X one. I didn't want to pony up that much dough. And I spent too much on the original. Quickly touching on the Quietest T, and after having both, and I've gone on record saying they're both great figures, either one's awesome. I prefer the T better because I like purple, so the purple just really stands out to me. I appreciate that. But I got the first run $30 cheaper. There was no place selling it, including Show Z, for the $130 price point anymore, so I couldn't get it for that price point. And it sold out real fast. So now these reissues and repaints sell out almost instantly. They're starting to sell out in minutes like it's SOC. The Quietest T was on the market like 5 days. Most places still had it in stock for like 5 days. But then we see something new. Sovereign M sells out instantly. Like instantly. As soon as I heard about it, it was sold out. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was crazy. And I haven't seen it come back in stock anywhere. Now, I do believe when it comes back, it actually shows up, all of the vendors are going to have some for sale. I truly believe that. They're gonna fill their pre-orders, and they're gonna have 10%, 20% extra. I truly believe that, and I truly believe this is actual full production run, completely different than the other one. But they've already reissued this guy twice, 2 reissues of this figure already. So this is the 3rd reissue with a different paint scheme. So I will commend Fanstoys for actually making their product more accessible than it used to be. But now I want to get into the figures that there's no talk about reissuing. Heck, they could drop it tomorrow. Watch them drop it tomorrow. They're reissuing Hydra. Watch them say, we're going to do Hydra F. I don't know. Whatever. But I thought Hydra was a great looking figure. A lot of people complained about him being weak in the knees. I don't care. Mine's not weak in the knees. Or it is, but it's not enough that it affects my posability or affects anything to me. But a lot of people really had issues with that. And I think that might put Hydra in a bucket where maybe we don't want to reissue it. Maybe it goes in the same bucket as Rouge. Fanstoys Rouge. We don't want to reissue Rouge. These figures stayed on the market for a long time. They were on the market for, what, 8 months till they sold out, which is very abnormal for a Fanstoys figure. Fanstoys figures usually sell out in a couple of months, but these didn't. So I wonder why they didn't sell out very fast. Well, let's look at another little case study here. Lupus and Dracula. Very similar figures. They're headmasters. They're beasts. Whatever. Lupus was very poorly received. Dracula was very well received by reviewers, but not by collectors buying it. I want to say that Lupus lingered on the market for a long time. And then finally when he went away, the price shot up. Dracula's lingered on the market for a long time. Still on the market. You can still find a Dracula at several places. Still, it's a year since this guy got released. Still on the shelf. I truly believe that's a big part of the reason Lupus never got reissued, because he was poorly received. And now that the price is up, Fanstoys still doesn't reissue it. They still don't want to. What, is that a false scarcity getting created? Possibly. What's going to happen with Dracula? Why would they reissue one of the poorest selling figures that they've made? Even though it's a great figure, there's nothing wrong with it. So all of this talk is bringing me into the main point of creating the false scarcity and some of the other business practices that Fanstoys uses. And now the big debate is the color of jabber. I've talked about this before. Yes, I'm not blue in the face for talking about it so much. But if you can see in my screenshot here, my whatever you call these thumbnails, I used it because I set this up to show very easily the color of the tune, the color of the promo shot in the middle, and on the right is the official product. And a lot of people that I have been hearing from are waiting to buy this figure because they expect to get some sort of a Jabber T, or a Jabber M, or a Jabber X, or a Jabber L, or whatever they're going to call it, and get a blue version, like the light blue instead of the purple. And that is something that Fanstoys has created themselves. And I'm seeing it in my comments every day. I see it on my Jabber video comments, and I see it in my news video comments. I see it all the time. I'm seeing people in Facebook groups talking about that. And guess what? This is something that this blue version, if it does come out, will be creating false scarcity, because they're not going to make as many. They're not going to make very many. The limited runs literally are only like 500 to 1,000, probably 1,000 on every run. Who knows the real productions? They never really tell you. But I'm perfectly happy with the figure they put out. I'm not mad at Fanstoys. I don't care that the colors are a little bit different. But a lot of people do. See, I only represent my own opinion. I don't represent 10,000 people's opinion. And out of 10,000 people out there, how many truly would have preferred getting the lighter blue in this promo shot? I think the limited editions that they make really do kind of come off as a false scarcity. And then people want to track down those limited editions. And I'm thankful I got my hands on the Quietest T when I did. And who knows, with these new figures that they're going to put out, are they going to be repainted? Are we going to see new figures getting a new paint job? Are we going to see double paint jobs coming out? Are we going to see these figures get reissued exactly the same multiple times? Are we going to see these figures getting held back for a while? And is this new Road King that's getting reissued? No, it's not new, but they're reissuing the Road King. When this Road King reissue comes out, is this another production run, or is this another 1,000 that they've held back? Did they already make 10,000 of these, anticipating making box sets? Who knows? See, there's a big question to this. Now we get into, with the combiners, it's an even bigger problem because it's an even bigger investment. And when you're looking at now, with the Superion going to cost you $725, $750 or something, now that we know that we're going to have to pay extra for the last figure, and each one of the figures for the limbs are costing another $15 more. It's just getting into a really, really expensive realm. But yeah, I think, my personal belief, they made a whole bunch of them, and they're just putting more out now that they see that they're selling out. They're saying they're doing a reissue. I think this thing's going to show up pretty quick because it's due out here in December, and I think they still have more made already, held back, if they plan to do a box set. But we don't know, and I would love to know because I would rather wait for a box set. So what can you do to save yourself some money and protect yourself in the end? I pre-order all the Fanstoys figures and get the ones when they come out. And if another version comes out, I go through the song and dance of buying the new one, and if I like it better, I keep it, and I sell my old one, or I keep them both. That's what I do. My recommendation to you, do what you want to do. This is a tough one. Let me know what you think. Do you think Fanstoys uses these practices of false scarcity? What do you think about all of the reissues? Do you think that the way they've gone about the repaints have hurt Fanstoys, the initial run sales? Or do you think we'll just keep getting reissues over and over and over indefinitely from Fanstoys? Let me know what you think. I'm excited about the future. I hope you're excited about the future too. Like, subscribe, so dear, and hang out.